Hi, my name is Pop. I'm making video number 2 in how to do Gregg Stenography. This video for YouTube is video number 2. I made the first one 10 years ago using a handheld camera, and it was well received. I made over 100 videos. Most of my videos are about Linux Ubuntu, and this is sort of going to be like a regular old course. Gregg Stenography. Let's just go over it a bit. And I'll keep this to, 10 minutes or so. The first thing we're going to do is delete these letters of the alphabet, C, Q, W, X, Y, and Z. And if you think about it, you can throw these away really easy. The C can either be replaced by a K or an S. Cent, cent, or cent. Well, they all sound the same, but they're spelled differently. If you spelled everything S-E-N-T, you would know by context whether you're talking about the smell of an animal, a coin, or mailing something. And if it sounds like a K, the C, like in the word can, just spell it K-A-N. Q is even easier because in English Q is always followed by U, and if you want to, you can just write everything K-U. So quick would be K-U-I-K. And queen, K-U-E-N. X, Y, and Z, even easier. Week, instead of a W, just use a U. Box, K-S for X. Yoke, like the yoke of an oxen. Instead of writing it with a Y, just use an E. And it's not zebra, it's zebra. An S can have two values, either a hard S or a little s. Well, we've thrown away some letters of the alphabet. It's counterintuitive, I suppose, to add a new letter of the alphabet, but Robert Gregg did just that. He made up a new letter for TH. In English, we've got the TH sound all over the place. It's very common in English, but other languages, like German, for instance, there is no TH sound. But we've got this, that, those, the. Everywhere you turn around there's a TH sound, so he made an actual letter of the alphabet for the TH sound. And if you think about it, t-h never could be the sound. It's just by convention that we pronounce that as the. And he also did something else. He blended together certain letters of the alphabet. We have very commonly in English ND or NT, and although in Gregg Stenography there is a letter for N and there is a letter for T, he, to make it faster, created a brand new letter of the alphabet for NT. I'll show you that later. He simplified the shapes of the letters of the alphabet. He got rid of the capitals. He simplified the letters so much that they're the simplest possible shapes that can be differentiated. He's got counterclockwise curves, clockwise curves, straight lines, loops, that, like a circle, a big one or a little one, a dot, there's only one kind of dot, and then he's got those blends. He did something else too. He paired up the so-called voiced and unvoiced consonants. If you think about it, if you write the word spear, S-P-E-A-R, and pronounce it, you could spell it out S-B-E-A-R. You'd get the exact same sound, spear. There are things called voiced and unvoiced consonants that the linguists talk about. We don't talk about them in everyday conversation, but P and B, K and G, F and V, T and D, and to a certain extent N and M, R and L, they are very, very related sounds. The B is just like a P, except that you are using your vocal cords at the same time. Try it. P, B. The B has a vocal cord accompaniment to the exact same sound as when you make the P. Same deal with K and G. Same deal with F and V. Same deal with T and D. T, duh. V has got a vocal cord. G, ga. Or if it weren't with the vocal cord, it would be k. But it's the same darn sound. And he made those letters of the alphabet very, very similar. So in case you write it wrong, in case you make one too big, in case you make one too small, you at least have that. And gee whiz, you can figure it out from context. He did something else. He took every single letter of the alphabet and he said, well, you know, when you write it by itself, let's call that a whole word. You just got to memorize those. So in other words, B by itself is the word be or by, and D by itself is the word would. CH is actually one letter of the alphabet that he made. There is a letter of the alphabet that's a ch sound. E by itself is he, F is for, G is good, J is just, and so on. Every letter of the alphabet stands for a single word. You just got to memorize them. But they all are kind of making sense. There's another kind of brief form that he did where he would take the whole word that's a really, really, really common word, and he would leave one or two or three or four letters out. And for example, the word when, he just writes it as EN. And ND is a blend, that's one letter of the alphabet, and he just allows the word ND to stand for the word and. The word with is very common in English, and he leaves the W out. The word but is very common, and he leaves out the U, and so forth. There's a few hundred of them, and you can memorize them. And if you don't memorize them, you can still write Gregg Stenography and gain a lot of speed. But by convention, a whole bunch of these are in use and standardized. There's another kind of brief form that consists of prefixes and suffixes that are disjoined. Let me explain that. Introduction, the intro, is just an N. If you've got an N hanging in space in front of a word, that stands for intro. And then you just follow it by duck. Shh. Super, just put an S in front, not connected. Ingly, that's a suffix, and it's just an E by itself hanging in space, and so forth. Well, let me now go over to my drawing program, and I'm going to go through this, and I will be brief, and I will go fast, and it's going to be so fast that no, you're not expected to memorize this if you're interested in this. I'm going to make a grid now of 27 letters of the alphabet. It's a chart. It's not alphabetical A to Z, but the chart is going to be arranged by direction. First of all, I'm going to be writing 9 letters on line 1, 9 letters on line 2, 9 letters on line 3. Line 1 is going to be the letters that are written upwards. Line 2 are letters that it's going to be written like the way we write, from left to right. And then the third line is going to be the letters that are written downwards. This is a new concept, that you write the letters in different directions. But remember, these are all simplified shapes. Well, I'm using a drawing program, and this is going to be jaggedy, kinda, sorta. I'll make it as clean looking shapes as possible. I'm going to be writing up, and I'm going to group these things into clockwise, straight, counterclockwise, 3 sizes of each. So, clockwise. Aha. Aha. Oh, that's poor. Oh, my handwriting. They're clockwise. They're not well written. Straight, 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 and now counterclockwise curves. Short, medium, long. Now I'm going to make the next line written from left to right. This is the way we write, and I'm going to go again starting with clockwise, the way a clock goes. Well, my handwriting's getting better anyway. Straight, longer, longest, counterclockwise. You might notice that these are like mirror images of the first three. And then up here, these are kind of like mirror images of these, sort of, kind of, right? Now the ones that go down, I'm again going to go starting with clockwise. Oh, that's poor. Let me erase him. I'm using a trackpad, and I do have a stylus, but it's harder to draw this way than there is with paper. Down, straight, 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 and now the last ones. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to group them for you, and remember I told you that there was a new letter of the alphabet for a TH. So let me get a different color here. This is a TH. I'll just underline it. And this is also a TH. He has two shapes that can be used for TH. It's the shortest upwardly written character, and you can write it either clockwise or counterclockwise. And then after that is the next letter of the alphabet, presumably a vowel. So let's do some vowels. Let me get another color. You see this one that looks like a U? Well, that's actually an O. And this one is the U. That's two vowels, but there's also an A and an E. But I haven't drawn those yet. Let me draw those down here. This is an A. It's a big loop. And let me just throw in the E over here. An E is just a little loop. You can write them in either direction. The reason I moved the A far away from the E is that there is a variation of the A. If you put a jag in it, it's a long I. I. This little loop right here, this has three values. It is E, E, or I, short I. This thing, the A, actually has a couple of values. It's A or A, and this is I. Another variation of this is if you put a dot in it afterwards, it's IA. And if you draw a big loop and then follow it immediately by a little loop, all going real fast, that's IA. So it's A, I, IA, IA, E, I, E. Oh boy, a couple more variations. At the beginning of a word, like if you were going to write yell, that's an L right there, by the way. So this is a Y, E, yell. And then if you elongate the A, that's YA. So this would be, I'm going to erase that. It's hard to draw this way. This is Yale. This, by the way, is L up here. So I have got several vowels. I've got U, that would be U, O, A, I, I, E, E, I, and then Y or Ye, yield, like yield, and then YA, either Y, ya, or yay. Now, I'm going to show you the paired voiced and unvoiced consonants. Let me get a color. Let's go blue. Here we got P and B. Oh, I did it wrong. Sorry. I'm looking at them wrong. Forgive me. This is, we're going down. P and B. I got to get my colors. P and B. F and V. K and G. T and D. This guy was very, very smart. Now, he had centuries to draw on, and there were many, many systems of shorthand in effect. And he put them together, modified them, tried them out, changed them, tried them some more, and he ended up with this. There is another system of shorthand used in Canada and England called Pitman. And Pitman is different from this. It's similar in some respects, but with Pitman you have to draw everything on a piece of paper with lines on it, because you differentiate between certain letters of the alphabet by means of drawing above the line, on the line, or below the line. You also differentiate with Pitman by writing hard or soft. So if you've written it with real hard and it's dark, then it's one letter, and if you wrote it real soft, then it's another letter. This one you can write with Gregg Stenography. You can write with either a pencil, pen, Sharpie. It doesn't make any difference. I haven't showed you all of these, and I know it's difficult to try to memorize all this stuff. This is R and L, and this is N and M. These three are very interesting because they are related sounds. He created a letter of the alphabet for the SH sound. By no stretch of the imagination does S followed by H make the sh sound. The sh sound he created a letter for, and that's it. Related to that, if you put like the T in front of the sh sound, you get a ch. So that's CH. If you put a D in front of a ch, you get a J sound. J. J. Ch. And sh. Now this sh could also be the so-called French sound j, like in pleasure. We spell it with an S. So this guy was very smart. I want to show you some of the blends now. This is an N, and this is a T. So if you were going to write N, T, I'm going to put it over here. I'll write it in blue. N followed by T. But see, you had to stop right there, and that slows you down. Every time you stop, it slows you down. So what he did is he allowed you to do this, and this is an ND right here. And it's very logical because, see, you start off with a horizontal, and then you kind of go up to the T, and you get NT. Just the reverse is also true. This is a TN. So let's do it. Oh, that's poor. I'm going to erase it. Oh, I'm getting the wrong angle. TN. But instead you just go like that. TN. And then these bigger ones would be like MD, DM. So you see at the end of words all the time one TED, T-E-D. That would be T-E-D. Here's the T, here's the D. M-E-N or N-E-M, that's this one. You just kind of ziggle-zag it longer. There are two TH sounds. I mean, there's two shapes of letters for TH. You can go up either clockwise or counterclockwise. Same deal right here with the S. This is an S, and this is an S. And S is so common, he allowed you to put an S in front of another letter of the alphabet in either direction. Let me give you an example. This is going downward. This is an F, and this is a P. So, like the word spear, you would go S-P. But sphere, you'd go S-F. And so you can use the S in either direction. Now, the loops, the big ones and the little ones, go in between all of these curved and straight things so very, very easily. Unfortunately, I've got to go down and briefly make all of this disappear because I don't have enough room. Let's go P-A-R. This is a P, this is an A, and this is an R. So if you're going to write the word pair, all you got to do is do that, pair. And then a B is bigger than a P, so B, continue, A-R, bear. And then beer is just a the E is a smaller loop, B-E-R. Fear is F-E-R. Cake, K-A-K. Whoa, my handwriting is so poor. Rear, rare. How about rare? It looks a lot better with a pen or a pencil with piece of paper. It's just hard to control this, but you can still read it. That's the point. Let's see. Peep. P-E-P. One point of logic does come up. Let us say that you're going in the same direction, left to right, and you've got a loop that's in between two curves, but the curves are going in the opposite curvature. One's clockwise, one's counterclockwise. So I've got K-A-R. Logically, I could have put that A over here, but there is a rule, and the rule is common sense. You always put the loop on the back of the very first one when going in one direction but of opposite curvature. So that's car. You would not write car, K-A-R. That's awkward. It could be done, and you can read it, but it's faster to go this way, and it's easier to read when you go this way. Was that clear? This is car. That's not car. Let me give you another example going, I don't know. Let's go. I'll have to make up a word. Let's see. Peevish. P-E, V is very long, and then S-H. Peevish. You don't put that E inside of the first letter. You put it on the outside of the first letter. I had better stop. I have been making this video for so many minutes. I We'll make another one if anybody is interested. I want to see what kind of response I get from this. This is a dead art form. Remember Edgar Allan Poe's poem Over Many Ancient and Curious Volumes of Forgotten Lore? This is certainly forgotten lore. I do recall from when I was a little boy that there used to be stenographers who looked with disdain upon court reporters who used stenotype machines. They call them idiot machines because, you know, they like to write it out by longhand like this and in shorthand like this, and then they would later transcribe their notes from the stenopad with a manual typewriter into a legal document. And then when they invented the stenotype machine, well, they would use the stenotype machine and it would print a tape. And then they would take that tape, which had these abstruse, arcane, and esoteric letters of the alphabet that you couldn't figure out, and then they would transcribe that with a manual typewriter. Today, of course, the stenotypist will go in and listen to the person on the witness stand, and the judge in real time can be reading in orthographic type on his computer monitor exactly what the court record is. There is some variance, of course. It's always a good idea to get on the good side of the lady doing the deposition. You go up to her and you say, I used to be a stenographer. I was the only male in my class, see? And then you talk to her. You never know. You never know. You know, she might drop some dumbass comment you made when they're asking you whether you quit beating your wife or whatever. I've been to many depositions, and that was quite a trip. I did not get into stenography for legal stuff. I got into stenography only because I was fascinated when I ran across it. It looked sort of like Greek, or it looked like hieroglyphics. I didn't know what it was, and I thought, gee whiz, this is really, really interesting. It was almost a dead art when I took it up. It used to be that in the United States of America, this was one of the few vocations available for females, and virtually all high schools in the United States of America taught shorthand, and it was segregated by gender lines. All females took shorthand and no males did, and that was your route to getting a good job. After you learned how to do shorthand and typing and you got your job, very often they never used it ever again. I mean, you know, they used that as a sort of a test to get the job, and then after they got the job, well, they, you know, lost their shorthand skills. And then bit by bit we got the electric typewriter, then the word processor, then the tape recorder, and then managers started using their own spreadsheets, and, you know, nobody uses this stuff anymore at all. It's just something left over from a former bygone era. My name is Pop, and I will make another video if anyone is interested, and I thank you very much.